It's all about the vibe here on Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live, and two vibe makers, two mahal makers, the best in the country on cricket broadcasts. Joy Bhattacharjya, Rohan Gavaskar are with us. Gentlemen, ready for a long, eventful, happy Saturday on Cricbuzz?
Yesterday, my son sent me a really loving reel on Instagram about how dads are, so inspirational. And then today I had to ask him, what do you want? In the same way, I have to ask you after the introduction that you've given, bhai, what do you want?
I can tag along for one of those concerts you take your children to. I think I do qualify as someone who can look like your son.
No. I mean, you're like a younger brother.
Arey sir, to kaun sa concert ja rahe?
Aap bataiye, you tell me.
After the show, we shall go online and look at what's available. Joy.
I have a different thing. I don't do this. With my son, when he was in college, I once sent a picture of myself, a nice front face picture of myself and my ATM card and saying, this is me, this is an ATM card. You should understand the difference because...
Look, there's no point being bored.
That is...
Bank of dad.
Bank of dad, true.
Bored.
What do you want is a question that was asked to a few billion IPL fans about a week ago, and the tournament has come alive. So we thought on this Saturday afternoon, why don't we look back at the week that was in the IPL, Rohan and Joy? So much has happened. Chennai against KKR, MI winning, DC losing a game that they should have won, the magic of Mitchell Starc, Bengaluru losing 2 in a row. It's been a very, very eventful week at the IPL.
It's been an entertaining week at the IPL. It's been a week which very eventful. Also, the fact it was IPL's birthday this week, 18 years done for the IPL. So, obviously, we had some fabulous games, fabulous moments. This week, forget over the last 18 years. This week, we've had some fabulous moments, fabulous games. Some nail-biters, some games in which you've got to think, ooh, the opposition, what have you done over here? Some games where you think, oh, well done, X player, Y player, Z player, you've bailed your team out. So that's the whole gamut this week.
And the great thing is, none of these have been 250 chases. Low scoring thrillers, exactly what fans want.
Absolutely. And look, give even the IPL governing committee some credit. I mean, one of the things is bringing saliva back. And I think it's a very good idea. They are continuously reacting. I mean, now only to make me happy, the only thing they need to do is get rid of the impact player rule. And I think it'll be better for the game, but it's a different matter altogether. Because I think it gives more advantages to the batting, to these 240, 250 scores. The other thing is, normally at this point in an IPL season, you will see most of the matches in the first half decided by the toss, because of teams batting second, chasing well, okay? And it's not that prevalent so far. We've had quite a few situations where the team batting first has won. And I think that's also very good news, because otherwise, what used to happen is, we've seen IPLs in 2018-19 where, it's just the toss is decided. Toss is gone, which way it's going to go. So I think this is a much more even IPL. I also see nobody who's, really, Chennai is struggling. But you look at the Chennai and the Rajasthan team and you say they aren't bad teams. Then they're the teams at the bottom of the table. So the bottom of the table teams don't look that bad. The top of the table teams don't look that much better than the rest. So I think it's a much closer, compacter, tighter IPL.
Yeah.
Is there one game that stands out for you in the last 1 week? The one which had Harry Maguire scoring in injury time?
Man, that game, I may forget a lot of things, but I ain't forgetting that game. I'll tell you what, that is a game which, no words, speechless.
I made the mistake of, on breakfast, I was walking out of the breakfast area, Pommy was walking in, and I made the mistake of asking him how last night's match was, because I'm also a supporter. And we spent the next 15 minutes standing out there and waiting to leave. He's waiting to have breakfast, talking about the match. Incredible. I remember that moment in '99 when Sheringham scored. And I was Solskjaer and Sheringham, I think.
And I'll tell you another thing about that game. That game, since you mentioned Solskjaer, Sheringham, the Bayern game, it was on the same day that Rahul Dravid and Sourav Ganguly had a mammoth partnership at Taunton.
318, yes.
In case you're
And I'll tell you a story of that game because I was in the stands at Taunton watching the game, and towards the I think Chaminda Vas was fielding at long off or long on, and Sachin hadn't come out to bat as yet. So the Indian fans were singing to Chaminda, "We also have Sachin." Like, he's yet to come. He still hasn't come. It was damn good.
This is why I said these two are the best mahal makers on Cricbuzz. And since we were talking about the week that was, how about we pick the best of the week? How about we go with the best batter first, Joy, for you in the last 1 week?
I mean, there've been a lot of best batters. I think we've got a graphic for it.
Now you pick yours first, or do you want me to remind?
For me, it's Karun Nair. For me, it's Karun Nair. I mean, you have to discount the innings where he got run out because,
Yeah, but that's not his fault.
Yeah.
And I'm agreeing with you because you have gone with Karun Nair. That's not his fault. Usne kya kiya? What's his fault in
non-striker?
The one time he really got an opportunity, he showed what
he was sold a puppy. And the thing about it is, I have not seen Jasprit Bumrah dismantled in that way for a very long time. And it's not that Bumrah was not, it's not Bumrah is fully fit. It's this thing. I think it's after 4 years, he really got smashed like that. And that innings of Karun Nair, also from where he came, what kind of a season he has. So he forced his way back into contention, come there. And the funny thing is, even before he got into the team, there was talk, how did he get in? Faf got injured, that's how. Otherwise, he may not even have got the break. There was talk that he was really doing well in the nets. And rarely do you hear news coming out that somebody is tearing it up in the nets. I mean, the last time I remember that kind of news in the nets was, I remember 2014, we were in the KKR nets, and Jacques Kallis was watching Surya Kumar Yadav bat and said, how does he hit that? That shot he hits, which now the world knows.
World knows, yeah.
Yeah, but at that time, he batted in the nets and proved himself. And I think Karun Nair must have done something really special out there, shown some really special touch. For me, batter of the week.
He's also had a stellar last 1 year, whether it was for the Northampton County or Esmat or Vijay Hazare. I've gone with Tristan Stubbs for his cameos for Delhi, although it's been a week where the bowlers have done really well, Rohan. So have you been able to pick one bowler? Lots of options there.
Well, lots of options, but I have gone with Kuldeep Yadav.
Nice.
I think Kuldeep's done really well, not just in the last week, but in this tournament so far. So, Kuldeep for me.
If Kuldeep is there, can Kulcha be far behind? Chahal be far behind? I've gone with Chahal. Again, this is for me, because it's a comeback week, this redemption song like Bob Marley, redemption week. Chahal doing nothing in the tournament. Then the most important match of the tournament, his team has put 110-11 runs on the board. And he managed to spin them to victory. I mean, yes, there was a lot of contributions up front, but his 4 wickets were what was the difference maker.
The word for the week, even in football, since we brought football, was remontada, which is comeback.
Comeback.
And this was the word that the Real Madrid fans were bringing about with Arsenal. So, yeah, that's there for Chahal. Yeah.
You guys could be the brand ambassadors for Footbuzz Live as well. Proper football fans in the house. I've gone with Mitchell Starc. 11 Yorkers in those 2 overs gave us the first super over. So how's that for a choice?
No, absolutely. And I thought he was fantastic. See, there's one more thing. We were talking about it that day. That when you bowl, say in the final over, especially in situations like that, there are one of 2 things you can do. You can either try and trick the batsman, say that, okay, I'm going to try something different, do it. Or you can say, this is the ball I'm going to bowl.
Yeah.
Try and hit it.
Yeah.
Okay. And Starc is clearly second category. I'm going to bowl here, this place, at this pace. Do what you want to.
And the high-risk delivery. Because I keep saying the Yorker is a high-risk, high-reward delivery. Because with the Yorker, what happens is your margin of error is very little. You go further by about 6 inches, it's a full toss. You fall short by 6 inches, it's a half volley there in the slot to be smashed. So it's a high-risk, high-reward delivery. And beautiful.
It worked very well for the Delhi Capitals against RR in that game. A few teams have new captains this year, a few first-time captains as well. Have you been able to pick the best skipper of the week?
I'm going with Shreyas Iyer. Just any time that a captain shepherds somebody, manages to keep his team's spirits up and gets them to win a match that the other team scored. I mean, they just scored 112 to defend it. I think he deserves to be captain.
I've gone with Shreyas as well. For not just that one game, but the way he's led throughout the tournament so far.
Akshar Patel for me, Bapu, stayed cool, very non-violent as all Bapus are. So well done, and you can see what he's done with his team. They are in a very comfortable position on the points table. But before we move on, very quickly, is there one moment that stood out for you?
The tie? Super over?
Okay.
Because not happened in 4 years. So again, treated to some nail-biting stuff there. So I've gone with the super over.
That delivery, I mean, though it broke Kolkata's hearts. The delivery that he got Chahal bowled to Rinku Singh. I mean, absolutely incredible. And Rinku's a good bowler spin. Under those circumstances, with that much pressure, to be able to bowl a ball like that is fantastic.
And I've gone with the moment that perhaps led to the super over, 17.4, Stark to a man who had scored 51 very quick runs, Nitish Rana. That Yorker to get rid of Nitish Rana is the one that I've gone for. That's where we are. The awards for week 4 at the IPL, those are our picks. You guys and girls watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live can send in your pick as well. Make sure you tag Joy Bhattacharjya and Cricbuzz on Twitter. Rohan is not on Twitter because he has better things to do in life. He has a lot of concerts to attend. How about we take a look at the points table now?
Let's have a look at the points table.
At the halfway mark, this is match number 35. And this is where these teams find themselves. It is a contest between team at 1 and 3. And we'll come to you live from Ahmedabad. We must examine what Delhi have done this year. A new captain, a new coaching unit as well, Joy. 3 reasons why you think Delhi find themselves at number 1 at the halfway mark.
Look, I think the first thing I'd say is that their bowling attack, okay? And because what's happened is that we always knew they had a good spin attack. With Kuldeep and Chahal, you had a good spin attack. You've now got a third guy emerging, Vipraj, who's really given them good support. So that's their third spinner has worked for them. And I think with that, Stark coming in, secondly, Stark coming in early and giving them such a boost. So 2 of the points, I think, is just to do with the bowling. The third is that with the batting, everybody except Jake Fraser-McGurk has come to the party. And I'm not saying any one batter has dominated, but you've got Porel has given you runs, Karun Nair has given you runs, Bapu himself has got runs. There's a lot of runs. Christian Stubbs has got runs. So it's been a consistent batting order. So I think these are the 3 major factors for me.
For you, Rohan?
For me, I think the first major factor is I think they've got a really good team environment there. And I've got to give credit to Hemang Badani, Venugopal Rao, the coaching staff there for creating that team environment at the moment. Secondly, I'm going to go with Akshar Patel and his captaincy. I think his captaincy has been spot on. He's again leading by example from the front in terms of just having that cool, calm temperament which spreads across the team. So there doesn't seem to be any fluctuations of, get too excited or too low if you win a game or lose a game. And third, again, I'm going to piggyback on a point that Joy's made. You've had people and team members putting their hands up when the teams needed them. It's not been dependent on 1 or 2 players. Mitchell Stark, as you mentioned, with that, over to get to the super over. The batters have done well. Akshar Patel has done well. Kuldeep has picked up 11 wickets. So it's been an absolute team performance.
It's a team that's in the mood this time. They will be batting first. Gujarat have won the toss and they've chosen to bowl first. Let's take a look at Delhi's batting first 11. Big news, as expected. No Jake Fraser-McGurk. Rohan, it had to happen. It was.
Oh, it had to happen
on the cards.
I mean, well, look, because
is this the batting 11 you said?
It is the batting 11. They're batting first.
Oh, that's interesting because I would be surprised because they've taken Fraser-McGurk out.
Ashutosh Sharma has come in, who used to be.
Ashutosh Sharma was always there.
Impact sub.
Yeah, the impact sub. Yeah. But they're really still batting to 6. I mean.
No, Vipraj can bat. Then.
Yeah, but not really. I mean.
So, I tell you what, I like this because when you have a look at the impact sub, you'll see
there'll be a batter also. There'll be a couple of batters.
A couple of batters. So that's you have Jake Fraser-McGurk, Donovan Ferreira. You've got Samir Rizvi as in case. There's a little bit of a failure.
Only 2 foreign players in the batting first 11.
So that gives them a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is say that we'll bat these batters if they lose wickets.
Yeah.
Okay. If they lose wickets, expect Donovan Ferreira to come because Donovan Ferreira bats lower down the order, can bat lower down the order. If they don't,
you can get an extra bowler in.
They can get an extra bowler in and give themselves more options. So this is the way a lot of teams are playing it. I think Gujarat has also played it a lot this way, where they are going with only 2 or 3 international players and keeping that flexibility for their team.
That's right. We will take a look at Gujarat's 11 first, but big question, who opens for Delhi? Is that an easier question to ask since Karun Nair has come in the kind of form he did? There is Abhishek Porel's there as well. So what do you do with the opening combination? There's KL Rahul too.
Well, I think Abhishek will open.
Okay.
And maybe with Karun. Abhishek and Karun might open. KL Rahul, I think, will be still. I think he's been given a role of slightly lower down the order. That's your role. And the way he's batting and the way he's sort of handling the team and the middle orders, you don't want to change that.
Yeah.
Let there be continuity in that. Let there be, clarity of thought. This is your role. We're not moving you around. You will be there. So I think Karun Nair would be itching to open. Even in that game that he scored 80, came into bat in the first over itself. So I think it'll be Abhishek Porwal and Karun Nair.
For you as well?
Yeah, I don't think they have too many options out there. And he's absolutely right. I don't see them moving Rahul around anymore. They've already told him, okay, you are going to play you're the guy in the middle overs who's going to distinct stability in the middle order. I don't think they're going to change it. I'm just fascinated by the way the GTO is also doing this, the way the thought process behind doing this is saying 6 batters can do it most days for me, okay? But I'll get a 7th bowler, chance at a 7th bowler. So it's obviously both these teams are saying that if I can strengthen my bowling attack, let me take the chance that I might strengthen it.
How about Gujarat's bowling first 11? Remember, they won the toss, chosen to bowl first on this afternoon game. Ishant Sharma comes in to add a bit of experience to that lineup alongside Mohammad Siraj and young Prasidh Krishna, who's had a bit of an up and down career. What do you make of that change? Joy, Ishant with his experience?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a bowling attack. They've got a proper 5 bowling, 6
bowlers.
6 proper bowlers are coming into.
Rahul Tewatia if required.
Yeah, Tewatia if required. I mean, you look at it, this is a lot of bowling. And this is typically very GT, that, they always have a very, very packed bowling attack. And I think they know that this is a pitiless ground. Lots of runs are scored in this ground. You need a proper bowling attack.
But if you have a look at that batting, that they're bowling this thing, bowling 11 first, it just, I know another batter will come in, but the batting looks a little...
it looks a bit undercooked.
Yeah, it looks a little undercooked.
Because even if Ishant goes out, who comes in?
Because if you've got Rahul Tewatia coming at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5...
You will have Shafin Rutherford.
You'll have Shafin Rutherford coming in. So say Rahul Tewatia drops to 6 and Shafin Rutherford at 5, it still looks a little undercooked.
Yeah. Can we go back to the first 11? And I just look at it and I say that does Washington Sundar, what does he need to do to get in there? Because a guy who plays consistently for India, and this is not the first season this happened to him. I mean, if you remember last night, Sunrisers also gave him just 3 games, but somewhere, and under these circumstances, it's almost sure that Sharfin is the guy who's going to walk in.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to understand what's happening there with obviously Washington.
Yeah, he doesn't
It's
get
a bit wishy-washy there.
True.
But hot conditions, Joy. Afternoon game. Gujarat choosing to bowl first, but some great initiatives by the association.
Absolutely. One of the things I was just mind blown because being part of putting together sports events, the one thing that Gujarat has done, and they've done it publicly. Apparently, there's a video by Parthiv also today going out on social media. They are saying water now, of course, court is mandated that everyone has to give water. But they are giving water, they're giving sunscreen, they're giving visors, they're giving ORS.
Yeah.
And I think that is fantastic. Oral rehydration therapy, and they're telling people, we know it's tough to be there in a game like this. Sunscreen, I have never seen sunscreen offered by stadiums.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fantastic initiative. And if stadiums do more of this, this is the first time I'm seeing stadiums proactively approaching this whole business of audience comfort, comfort for their spectators. And I think it's fantastic. So kudos to them.
Putting the fans first.
Putting the fans first.
Well
Absolutely.
done. This is where the Gujarati in me says, Kuch din to guzara Gujarat mein. Subtle plug.
No.
Moving on. Tristan Stubbs is our next story. Someone who finished with a strike rate of about 290 last IPL, was retained by the team for about 10 crores. And this year, what he is doing perhaps makes all of us say that he is probably so far the finisher of the league. Look at his numbers. Little cameos at that incredible strike rate.
Absolutely. I mean, look at it. The maximum ball he's faced is 23. He hasn't faced more than 4 overs. And his strike rate has been consistently up there. And I think, you see him as a player, finishing is the most difficult job. Let no one tell you what finishing is the most difficult job is, because your time is cut out for you. You don't know how many, it could be 14 and over, it could be 8 and over, it could be 10 and over. You can't decide it. Whenever you're opening, you have far more opportunity. The field is also in. So this is the most toughest job in batting in international cricket. he does it with aplomb.
Where do you rate him among all the other finishers in this league?
Extremely highly, simply because he is, in my opinion, one of the ideal finishers to have. Not only because of those numbers and strike rates we've seen, but also because if there is a bit of a collapse, he's the kind of batter who bats at number 4 and 5 in Test cricket, will know how to handle a collapse and not just be batting in one gear. So while he gives you those finishing abilities with a strike rate of over 150, 160, 180 towards the end, God forbid they are 45 for 4. Tristan Stubbs there, you know it's not going to be all bam, 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 bam. It's going to be, okay, maybe just let me play it sensibly for about 3-4 overs and then see what needs to be done. So in that sense, the ability to adapt to the situation makes him such an ideal finisher.
Joy, you've seen an IPL team very closely. Batting has evolved is what we all understand. But this ability to go in and hit the ground running straight away in 5th gear. I mean, in baseball, you have the bullpen where batters are, getting a hit and they come in and start hitting straight away. That's starting to happen a lot more in cricket now, where batters don't take too much time to keep going.
Yeah, they keep preparing and they do lots of things. Like some of the things that you don't see before is they'll use 2 bats to sort of start helping their swing. If they get an opportunity, they'll knock in the corner. Now the first thing an assistant coach will go there is get into the ground and find, is there a place where he can quickly knock if a batter wants a knock? Is there a ground just outside the stadium where they can go and knock? Because these are important, getting the batters, exactly. T20 cricket needs your batter to be cooked before he enters there. And it's very, very difficult otherwise, because so they do a lot of work to make sure that the batters are ready.
He's got different gears, Rohan, but from a bowling team point of view, how do you keep this man quiet?
Well, you've got to use your change-up deliveries. You've got to try and, well, look, first and foremost, if you can nail the Yorker like Mitchell Starc, then that's what you rely on. But not many bowlers, as a lot of bowlers and experts will tell you, not a lot of bowlers can consistently hit that Yorker accurately. So you're not going to get that. So you've got to go to your change-up deliveries, your mix-up deliveries. Try and get him to keep thinking and guessing as to what the next delivery will be. Also depends on the pitch. If the pitch is a little slow, it's slightly too paced, you've got to go to your cutters, slower deliveries, alter your lengths. But you can't be bowling in one area and one slot at one pace and just making it easy for him.
What's the ideal batting number for him? Because there would be this temptation to say, why don't we give him a few more deliveries? Maybe he'll give us more. Or are you okay with the way Stubbs is being used?
No, I think Stubbs is being used well because you have batters like KL Rahul, and KL Rahul is apparently one of his idols. So he used to love watching KL Rahul play cricket, and that's
who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's the problem. KL Rahul will meander through a couple of innings and then he'll hit one shot and remind you that why he's considered such a class batter.
Right. On the opposite side, we will look at their bowling as well. And one name that isn't much talked about, Prasidh Krishna, who is in a team that has Ishant Sharma. There is Mohammad Siraj as well. Now, he's had an injury-prone career, Joy, but 10 wickets, pretty good start at the halfway mark. He would take these 10 wickets, and he's done fairly well. After that first game, in every game he's picked up wickets. Take a look at that economy as well.
No, absolutely. I think he's one of the most outstanding bowlers that have emerged in the last 3-4 years. Unfortunately, he's been very injury-prone. And he's had an issue. But see, he again, discovered by Srikanth from KKR, who used to be with KKR. And the whole thing that what he has is high action, high bounce, okay? Bowls at 144, 145, gets that kind of bounce. And what is very interesting is because I feel Nehra is one of the ideal bowlers coaches. He coaches bowlers very well. He used him in the first match. I remember he used him at 10, 11, 12 in that period as a middle over enforcer. Then the next match he had a need of it, he'll go early. Depending on the pitch, depending on the conditions, he uses him anywhere in and around. But normally does not use him in the first 6. Get Siraj to bowl most of the first 6. Siraj and Arshad need the ball to do a little bit in the first couple of overs if they have. They'll give you value. But Prasidh doesn't need that. Prasidh is bounce, cutters, he has that height, he has the space. And I love the way he's being used. If he stays healthy, for me, I wouldn't mind seeing him in England. Though perhaps England is more swing bowler territory, but I still wouldn't mind seeing him in England.
Missed out on the IPL 24-23 as well. Picked up a quadriceps injury in January last year. It must be very difficult for a pace bowler to come in and play in this format that he hasn't played for 2 years.
Yes, but I mean, I think for anyone to come and just sort of, come back after a long break. But medical science has improved so much that, you're not worried about your injury. You would have done a lot of stuff. And this is a format that everyone wants to play. While you say it is extremely tough for a fast bowler, it is, and a lot of people might get on my case for this, but you're bowling 4 overs. You're bowling only 4 overs.
So Wasim Akram used to tell me, he said, dude, if I didn't have to field, right?
Yeah.
I'd play the IPL now. And this was 2010 when you were there.
It's bowling 4 overs.
4 overs, you give him the ball, he could have, to 2010, he would have bowled you 4 overs.
Because he was bowling in the nets from a short run-up and getting a few players out anyway. So look, as a bowler, you think, okay, I've got to bowl 4 overs. There'll be high-pressure overs. So mentally, you're under a bit of toll. But from a physical point of view, as a bowler, if you can't bowl 4 overs, then you're struggling. You're not going to be playing 50-over cricket then, because that's 10. Longer duration, you've got to bowl 15, 18 overs.
Actually, I was thinking that just on that same thing, that if there were impact subs in 2010, Wasim would have put his name in the auction.
He would have.
And done commentary when he's not playing. He played 3 Ranji matches, Prasidh Krishna, picked up 8 wickets at an average of 24. Now, clearly, most fans in India are looking ahead to the England tour as well. So, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, Harshit, Akashdeep. These are the 5 names that come to mind. Where does Prasidh Krishna find himself in that pecking order? Is there a chance that he'd go to England? He went to Australia, played a test as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance, because he's a different kind of bowler. He's a hit-the-deck bowler, seam bowler. So there's certain pitches which might suit him. Let's not look at the Ranji Trophy numbers, because, you know, we said he's coming back from an injury, all of that. And I think the selectors, the bunch of selectors that we have right now, they will look more than just numbers.
Beyond, they'll
look beyond numbers. They'll look at, you know, conditions that might be there. They'll have a talk with the team management, speak to the team management. Does he fit into your scheme of things? Then they'll look at the kind of form that he's shown in the IPL. Not necessarily in just terms of picking up wickets and runs, but what kind of lengths he's hitting on Indian pitches, what kind of, you know, what might suit India, the Indian team in England. So look, he definitely has a chance.
A lot will happen over the next 45 days post-pitch, I suppose. The Indian team for the England tour will be picked. But for now, it's GT versus DC. GT playing, they're bowling first since they won the toss. Let's pull up their bowling first 11 and get Rohan Gavaskar to give us GT's bowling plan, since this is the DC lineup that has a lot of
bundle them out for 65 and chase it down. That's the bowling plan.
We still have another game to do, so we're not going home soon.
No, bundle them out. No, but look, again, you've got, from what the looks of it, it looks like it might be a pitch that might have a little bit of bounce and carry. You've got Prasidh, Ishan, Mohammad Siraj. Mohammad Siraj has been excellent top of the innings, where he's been picking up early wickets and putting the opposition on the back foot. So I think that'll be, and again, then in the middle, you've got those 2. Rashid Khan really hasn't come to the party as yet, but Sai Kishore, my God, he's been extremely, extremely impressive. And for a lot of players who don't follow domestic cricket, will be thinking, okay, yeah, now, but he's been doing this for a while. One of my favorite moments over the last few years, we've been talking about favorite moments, you know, for the last week, but over the last few years, was seeing Sai Kishore break down in tears when he got his cap at the Asian Games, I think it was, and the national anthem was being played. It was a moment that deeply resonated with me, because I know when I heard the national anthem being played when I was part of the Indian team in Australia, I know the goosebumps that I had. So it deeply resonated with me. So that for me over the last few years has been one of my favorite moments from international cricket.
Joy, for you, bowling plan?
Look, the great thing about it is they have 7 bowlers. I mean, the way they packed their team with bowlers. So I'll be definitely Arshad and Siraj will start off. That's almost for sure, because they'll keep Prasidh. But after that, it really depends on how the pitch is playing. If they think that they'll get a spinner early, then Rashid Khan will come in early. If not, you will see Prasidh bowling that 6th over. Normally, he comes in there. So it really depends on what their plans are and what kind of breakthroughs they get. Their big thing is, I can't really, though Ishant is there, I can't see Ishant bowling more than 2 or 3 overs unless he gets a very, very good first spell.
Right. Delhi has struggled with their opening. No JFM, and that means a new opening pair. Karun Nair and Abhishek Porel have come out to bat. Before we get the predictions out, Joy Factor.
Yeah, this is dedicated to a very good friend of mine who's I've worked with the Under-17 World Cup. He came up with this. Amit Sinha, this is for you. Who's the only player to score over 70? Actually, I think it's over 75% of his team's runs in a completed match in this league's history. That means in a completed match, he scored more than 70%. Definitely, I think it's on close to 75%. Okay, close to 70. Okay, 70% they say.
Is he a Kiwi batter?
My lips are sealed.
Is it 3-3-3? Mr. 3-3-3?
I'm not saying anything. I think
Okay.
you've had one very relevant hint. Let's put it that way.
They have a one full day to crack the code and send on the answers. The answers, make sure you tag
I'll give you another clue if I'm on the right track. Have you seen Back to the Future? You've got to go Back to the Future when Marty McFly's DeLorean. Have you? I think that might. Is that another clue?
I won't say anything more.
Okay.
First ball wide. Now I need predictions because we can talk about Joy Factor a little later. Predictions. DC batting first.
DC batting first. 206.
198.
2-1-5. Enjoy this first game of this Saturday doubleheader and make sure you come back and enjoy this conversation once again on Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ Hyderabad Express Station Netaji Bhavan.